Now, keeping in mind, Jaws is a movie, but it's interesting. The different scenes. This particular scene is the shark scientist being all hell bent to kill a shark. Now, in reality, I don't think many of them are like that anymore because of this movie Jaws. It, Everyone got triggered to sport fish, to go out and feel like a man and kill great whites. And there were record numbers of sharks being killed because of this show. But ultimately, who's right? You know, the show, reality. In the show, he says in a clip I'm going to show you right here that um, are you lobbying to kill, like this shark is a danger to get in National Geographics? The truth is just the opposite. If you're an alarmist, many times that you won't get publication unless you play ball with government. You won't get any funding if you don't play ball with government. That's the truth. That's the absolute truth. Maybe during the 70s or whatever, when this was done, or 80s, maybe it was so that you had a little bit more free speech in your profession. I wouldn't say so much anymore, but the whole idea is, what way would I go? What way would I go? I would go somewhat that, that of course sharks. We don't need a mass killing sprees of sharks, not at all. Animals have a natural fear to humans, a natural fear. All animals do. Now, some override that fear, and in the evil way, some in a good way, like a little squirrel being my friend and coming up on a porch and being close to me. That is a good way of overcoming its fear. But on the other hand, hunger sometimes makes sharks overcome their fear of man, and they would turn and eat people, and then they get cursed by God, I believe, for eating man, and made in the image of God man is. And I think probably the animals know it too, that they don't kill humans unless it's it's ordained or something. But anyway, yeah, animals have a natural fear of man, and I'll play this.
What? Mr. Vaughn, what we are dealing with here is a perfect engine, an eating machine. It's really a miracle of evolution. All this machine does is swim and eat and make little sharks, and that's all. Now, why don't you take a long, close look at this sign? Those proportions are correct.
Love to prove that, wouldn't you? Got your name into the National Geographic.
Many of this global warming stuff, you won't get funding, you won't get government grants unless you pull the headlines. You give the Democrat Party or the establishment some food to go off of. Like you say, oh, whoa, the world's going to end in 5 years due to man-made climate change. And you get headlines, you get funding, because then Democrats can use those headlines. See, a scientist says this. I'm going to make sure he's well funded because he backs up my power grab. It may be in cars or whatever it be, if it's in restrictions and regulation, whatever. We have to go green. We have to have regulation. Whatever it is, it helps them to have more power.